Hello, welcome back to Chapter 10, Section 2, where we're learning about frequency, and pretty soon we're going to be doing graphs called histograms. In this example, this builds up to a histogram, but before you do that, you have to be able to make a frequency table. And actually, in the next video, I'm going to use this same data to make my histogram, so they kind of go together. So how do I make a frequency table? This is one of the situations where you get to choose. And that usually is kind of difficult. I find that, like, in my experience, whenever we get to something in class where it's like, well, you could do this or you could do this, and they're both okay, that a lot of students have a hard time with that. I get it, because for most of math, it's like, do it this way, and if you do it different, you're going to get it wrong. So I totally get that. So I'll show you what I'm going to do, and then we'll talk about like what you could have done instead in case, but that's all right. So the hardest part about this is making what we call the intervals. And the intervals are going to be like groups of numbers that are in order that have what we call a certain width. So I could have, like, you know, numbers in like groups of 4 or groups of 5 or groups of 6. Usually usually it doesn't matter how big those intervals are. What we want is to make sure that our intervals cover the entire data. So it's easier for me to show you than to explain it. So what we're going to do is we're going to first find the biggest number here. And these are scores for golfers in a tournament. And actually, in golf, the low score is the winning score, but that's okay. So first I'm going to find the largest score here. And here's a bunch of them in the 70s. Here's in the 80s. Do I have anything higher than 82? No, I don't. So the highest score was 82. Now let's find what the winning score was, the lowest score. Again, bunch in the 70s. There's a 68. Anything else in the 60s? The lowest score was a 68. All right, now we need to find the range. And if you remember this from Algebra 1 and pre-algebra, the range is the highest number, subtract the lowest number. So I take 82 and subtract 68, and my range is going to be 14. Okay, so that's what we call the width of the data. If I made a number line, the number with this data, it would start at 68 and it would end at 82, and how wide it would be on the number line would be 14. What I would now want to do is I want to split that into 3 is usually not that great. 3 equal intervals, that's usually not enough. 6 intervals is sometimes too much, but we use it. Anything higher than 6 we try to avoid. So we either want like 4 intervals, 5 intervals, and like I said, 6 would be okay. Anything higher than 6 would be okay. So how would we divide this up? So 14 divided by 4, that would be like 3.5-ish. I can't do halves because I have to have like a whole number in there. So I don't know, maybe like 3 in each one. I don't know if that would work. 6 seems like it would be not enough. So I think I'm going to stick with 5. And here's the thing. I'm going to round this up to 15. And then 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3. That means I'm going to have 3 numbers in my interval. So if I start with my lowest number, 68, then that's also going to include 69 and 70. So this will be 68 to 70. And I know that we hide what's inside there. I get it. This represents 68, 69, 70. The next 3 numbers would be 71, 72 to 73, 74 to 75 to 76, 77 to 78 to 79, 80 to 81 to 82. So I have 5 groups, and there's 3 numbers in each group. So my intervals are going to work out. That's the hard part. Now, for most of the time, we're going to give you the intervals. A lot of times on the homework, they just give you the intervals. So if you've been confused about this so far, it's okay, because this is the part that most of you are going to do. These are, like I said, this is my intervals. And now, this is not going to be part of the final picture, but I'm going to do tally marks. And here's what tally marks mean. So I've got 77. 77 is 77, 78, 79, goes right there. And that's not a 1. I'll show you what it is when we get to it. The next one's 71, so that's going to be right here. 70 is right here. 82 is right here. 75 is right here. So now I've got 1 in each interval. 76 is right here. And again, that's not an 11. Tally marks look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 72 is right here. 70, 77, 74, 71, 75, 68, 72, 75, that's where I draw the line through so I can count by 5s, and 74, put another one here. So then my last column is going to be my totals. So I just count my tally marks. 1, 2, 3. This is 4. This is 5 plus 1, which is 6. This is 2, and this is 1. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these up and make sure that that's how many scores I have here, so I didn't miss any. So I've got 3, 7, 13, 15, 16. There should be 16 scores up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yay, good job. Now, we're going to show you this later in another example, but while I'm talking about it, what I just did is what we call cumulative frequency. So we say 3, then we do 3 plus 4 is 7, then we do 7 plus 6 is 13, 13 plus 2 is 15, and 15 plus 1 is 16. So cumulative frequency allows us to add as we go. And that's very useful in some advanced statistics. All right, now well actually I don't even know if I need another sheet of paper. Let's just clean this up with a title and everything. I'm just going to put it down here, okay? So what's going to be the title? I can call this, what was it? It was a golf tournament. Golf tournament scores. Make sure you give it a title. And my intervals are going to actually represent the scores. And what I have over here, these totals, we call that the frequency. Frequency is a way of saying how many times does something happen within a certain group. So I'm going to copy my scores here. 68 to 70, 71 to 73, 74 to 76, 77 to 79, and a little bit more, 80 to 82. And I'm going to put my totals over here. So I've got three golfers scored within a 68 to a 70, 4 golfers scored within 71 to 73, 6 golfers scored within a 74 to 76, 2 of them were at the 77 to 79, and 1 golfer had a bad day and he shot an 82. And that is how we make a frequency table. In the next video, I'm going to take this same data and we're going to make a histogram.